These sports may seem strange at first, but they all have a dedicated following of fans who love the unique challenges they present. We've scoured the globe to bring you a list of the most unusual sports out there. From rolling a giant wheel of cheese down a hill to playing soccer on unicycles. Get ready to be amazed, entertained, and maybe a little bit confused as we count down the top 10 bizarre sports. 10. Cheese rolling. Cheese rolling is a traditional English sport that takes place annually in the village of Brockworth near Gloucester. The event consists of several races in which a large round of cheese is rolled down a hill and participants chase after it. The cheese used in the event is a 7-pound double Gloucester, which is chosen for its size and ability to roll well. The races are held on Cooper's Hill, a steep slope that is known for its challenging terrain. The course is approximately 200 meters long and has a gradient of about 1 to 1.5. Participants start at the top of the hill and run after the cheese as it tumbles down the slope. The first person to catch the cheese wins. In addition to the cheese rolling races, the event also includes a variety of other activities, such as live music, food stalls, and a carnival atmosphere. Cheese rolling has been held annually since the early 19th century and has become a popular tourist attraction. However, it has also been criticized for its potential to cause injuries, and some have called for the event to be banned. 9. Quidditch. Quidditch is a sport that was created by author J.K. Rowling in her Harry Potter series of novels. In the books, Quidditch is a popular wizarding sport played on broomsticks, in which players attempt to score points by throwing a ball called the quaffle through one of the 3 hoops at either end of the pitch. The game is played by 2 teams of 7 players, each with a specific position and role on the field. In the real world, Quidditch has been adapted into a co-ed, full-contact sport played by both amateur and professional teams. It is played on foot rather than on broomsticks, and the rules have been modified to accommodate the lack of flying. The game is played on a field similar to that of a soccer or football field, with 3 goalposts at either end. The ball used is a slightly deflated volleyball, and players use brooms to simulate the experience of flying. Quidditch has grown in popularity in recent years and is now played at universities and colleges around the world. 8. Shin kicking. Shin kicking is a traditional English folk sport that dates back to the 17th century. It is also known as purring or hickey hickey. The sport involves 2 opponents trying to kick each other on the shins until one of them falls to the ground. The game is played in a circular pit or ring that is surrounded by spectators. The opponents or kickers wear padded trousers and hold onto each other's shoulders or upper bodies as they try to kick each other's shins. The goal is to force the other person to the ground, either by causing them pain or by destabilizing their balance. The match is over when one of the players falls or is unable to continue. Shin kicking is typically associated with the Cotswold region of England, and it is often played as part of folk festivals and events. It is considered a rough and physically demanding sport, and it is not uncommon for players to suffer bruises and other injuries during a match. Despite its rough reputation, shin kicking is also seen as a fun and lighthearted activity, and it is enjoyed by both participants and spectators. 7. Bossa ball. Bossa ball is a sport that combines elements of soccer, volleyball, and gymnastics, and is played on an inflatable court with trampolines. The sport was invented in Belgium in 2004 and has since gained popularity in countries around the world. In Bossa ball, 2 teams of 3 to 5 players compete to score points by hitting a ball over a net, similar to volleyball. However, the court is made up of 4 trampolines, which players can use to jump and perform acrobatic maneuvers. The ball can be hit with any part of the body except for the hands and arms, and players are allowed to bounce on the trampolines and perform flips and other tricks. Bossa ball is typically played outdoors and can be set up on a variety of surfaces, including grass, sand, and water. The sport is known for its high-energy, fast-paced gameplay and has gained a reputation as a fun and exciting spectator sport. It is often played at music festivals, beach parties, and other events. 6. Underwater hockey. Underwater hockey, also known as octopush, is a team sport played on the bottom of a pool. It was invented in the UK in the 1950s and has since spread to countries around the world. In underwater hockey, 2 teams of 6 players each try to score goals by pushing a weighted puck into their opponent's goal using stick-like paddles. The game is played on the bottom of the pool, and players wear snorkels and fins to allow them to swim and maneuver underwater. The puck is made of lead and is heavier than a normal hockey puck, so it sinks to the bottom of the pool. Underwater hockey is played on a rectangular court marked with lines on the bottom of the pool. The game is divided into halves, and players try to score as many goals as possible within the time limit. The score is known for its fast-paced, physical gameplay, and it requires a high level of endurance and skill. It is also considered a safer alternative to traditional ice hockey, as there is no risk of falling on the hard surface of the rink. 5. Unicycle Polo. Unicycle polo is a variation of the traditional sport of polo, played on unicycles instead of horseback. It is a team sport that requires a high level of balance and skill, as players must ride their unicycles while trying to hit a ball with a mallet. In unicycle polo, 2 teams of 3 to 5 players each compete on a small court, similar to a basketball or street hockey court. The goal of the game is to score goals by hitting the ball into the opponent's goal using a mallet that is held in one hand while riding the unicycle with the other. The ball used is similar to a street hockey ball, and players are not allowed to touch the ball with their hands or feet. Unicycle polo is a relatively new sport, and it has gained popularity in recent years as a fun and challenging recreational activity. It is often played at unicycle conventions and events, and it has also been featured in a number of high-profile competitions around the world. 4. Cycleball. Cycleball is a sport similar to soccer, but played on bicycles. It is a team sport that requires a high level of skill, coordination, and endurance, as players must ride their bikes while trying to hit a ball into the opponent's goal. In cycleball, 2 teams of 2 players each compete on a small and close court, similar to a basketball or street hockey court. The ball used is similar to a soccer ball, and players are not allowed to touch the ball with their hands or feet. Instead, they use their bikes to control and hit the ball, using a variety of techniques such as kicking, tackling, and passing. Cycleball is a popular sport in many countries around the world, particularly in Europe and Asia. It has a long history, with the first known match being played in Germany in 1893. Since then, it's played year-round. 3. Zorbing. Zorbing is a recreational activity in which participants roll down a hill or slope inside a large inflatable ball. The ball, called a zorb, is made of a transparent, flexible material and is typically 3 to 4 meters in diameter. It has an inner sphere that is suspended inside the outer sphere, and participants climb inside the inner sphere through a small opening. There are 2 main types of zorbing: dry zorbing and wet zorbing. In dry zorbing, participants roll down the hill without water, and they can control the ball's direction by shifting their weight inside. In wet zorbing, the inner sphere is filled with water, and participants roll down the hill while floating inside the ball. Despite its popularity, zorbing has also been criticized for its potential to cause injuries, and some have called for stricter safety regulations to be implemented. 2. Kabaddi. Kabaddi is a traditional Indo-Bengali sport that is played by 2 teams of 7 players each. The objective of the game is for one team, known as the Raiders, to enter the opponent's half of the field and touch as many of their players as possible, while the other team, known as the Defenders, tries to stop them. The game is played on a rectangular field, with a center line dividing it into 2 halves. Each team occupies one half of the field, and the Raiders try to cross the center line and touch as many defenders as possible before returning to their own half. The defenders try to tackle the Raider and prevent them from returning to their own half. Kabaddi is a physically demanding sport that requires a high level of endurance and strength. It is also a high-scoring sport, with points being awarded for successful raids and tackles. The game is popular in many parts of India and has also gained international recognition, with a number of national and international leagues and tournaments being held. 1. Extreme ironing. Extreme ironing, also known as EI, is a recreational activity and extreme sport that involves ironing clothes in unconventional locations or while participating in challenging activities. It was invented in the UK in the late 1990s and has since gained a cult following around the world. In extreme ironing, participants take an iron and ironing board to remote or challenging locations and iron a garment while performing a physical activity. This can include ironing while rock climbing, while skydiving, or while participating in other extreme sports. The goal is to complete the ironing in the most challenging or impressive location possible. Extreme ironing has been featured in a number of high-profile events and competitions, and it has been recognized as an official sport by the Extreme Ironing Bureau, an organization that promotes the activity and organizes events. The sport is known for its combination of physical endurance and household chores, and it is often seen as a humorous and light-hearted activity. While these sports may not be as mainstream as soccer or basketball, they showcase the creativity and determination of athletes and fans alike. We hope you enjoyed learning about these unusual and entertaining pastimes, and perhaps even found a few favorite to follow. Let us know in the comments and then check out this next top 10 video.